Welcome back to Meshy TV, and thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, we're going to be setting up our plans for the week of February 24th to March 1st. In a separate video, we'll go ahead and set up the month of March. But for today, I just thought that we would actually just plan out our weeks. So if you are brand new here, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you will stay and you will enjoy. We are setting up my Erin Condren Hourly Layout Vertical Life Planner. So why not just get right into this? So I thought that today we would use something slightly different. Clearly, I haven't set up my March just yet. Okay. So I thought that we would use something different, and my monthly view will also be set up slightly differently than before. I've been really wanting to actually just use this little kit that I got from Once More with Love. So I thought that this would be a really great opportunity to just play with emojis, because I just felt like it. And I was also watching oh my gosh, a tattoo teacher. I think I will just link it on the screen, her video, but she was using these emoji stickers at the very top, and I thought that was super cute. So maybe we'll just use some inspiration from that. So let's get started. I'm going to see if this kit actually comes with a washi. I think it does. If it does, we're going to use it. If it doesn't, that's okay. We'll use some. No, it doesn't. I wish it did. Then why don't we go into one of the older kits? Part of me wants to use an older kit, and part of me kind of wants to just use one of the washi strips. You know what? One thing that I have that I've never actually used is I have this let's try this washi tape, because I'm feeling inspired today. So why not add some glitter? Now let's see if this will actually see through. No, it's not too bad. Okay, so once I have covered that top section up, I don't know, I'm finding that the only struggle really with some of these washis is sometimes it does not want to have that clean cut look. You know what I mean? It doesn't want to really rip apart as easily as I would like. So little side note here for you guys. At the time as I'm filming this, it happens to be the new moon. We're entering into Pisces season. We're still in retrograde, so you might find that communication might be completely off. Totally normal. Hence why it's probably going to explain why I've been struggling with this spread so much. I went with a really cute emoji looking theme. I wasn't sure if I was going to go for it, but here we are. So I am using a combination of the Sweet Kawaii Designs and 1 Ton in a Million kits, along with the very first kit that I was showing you, which is Once More with Love. I did find that really it's almost like a duochrome washi that I just put layered on top of the glitter. And then now here we are, we're just adding some of the functional boxes to the sidebar. I wanted to leave a little bit of space so that I know what that first full box is for. I also kind of played around with the idea of adding all the dates. I ended up not using any of them because honestly, the thought of whiting everything out just so that I can have the same font of the days, it felt really redundant to me. So here we are. This is sort of the best part. This is all thanks to Tattoo Teacher's Plan. So for that, thank you for the inspiration. I love it. I have these large size layered, they sell this at Michael's as a washi tape, but really they're individual stickers, but it's still the same type of paper being used as a washi tape. Super fun. So the way that she set it up, the inspiration came from her, where she set up all of these little emojis at the very top, or these icons at the top, and then as you can tell, like I'm layering it a bit over the page. I end up basically trimming the top afterwards, but I really like how this turns out, and honestly I will probably use this more, because it's not necessarily that I like these little icons on the spread, but it's kind of nice to just, you know, put it all around the edges of the page where it doesn't really bother anybody, but it just adds more of a decorative thing. So love it. One thing though is that you have to be really careful as you're removing them from that tape, because honestly sometimes they like to rip pretty easily. I also added another like thin little washi that's sort of like that golden ribbon like look, and because gold is sort of all over the spread in like a lot of the sticker kits here, then it ends up kind of complementing the whole thing. And in case you're wondering, I stopped the 6 a.m. workouts because they're just simply, at this point in the game, they're just not really working for me. At least not the way that I would like them to. So we're just not entertaining that. Maybe a little bit later we probably will, but for now, it's not something that we have to worry about. Okay. We'll start filling this in a moment, but in the meanwhile, let's start putting in some checklists and a couple of boxes.
So you can't hurt me like you did before. Let me tell you, not because my eyes are open, your words will keep bouncing away. And even if you're trying to hurt me, my skin's getting thicker each day. I don't know how you fall asleep at night, knowing that your words are...
So I'm going to start filling up the sidebar in a mere moment, but for now I just wanted to add a couple of flags that says to do or something like today, and then add like maybe a half box or a full box. This one happens to have a checklist on it, which I find super helpful. On some days, even though this is an hourly layout, on some days I actually kind of don't care what like the time slot that I'm putting things down on. So in that regard, I'm not 100% sure that I will repurchase another hourly layout, because honestly, it's just, I kind of like adding some structure on the layouts that I have. So I'm just not sold on the hourly layout at this point. I thought that it would be helpful, and some days it is, but for the most part, it kind of visually, it doesn't look as appealing to me. I'm also using a couple of the weekly trackers. Same thing, also from One Ton in a Million. I'm finding that this to be like the most useful kit out there, just because you get a lot of checklists, you get a lot of trackers, and you get like one of those, I'm calling it a quarter box. Maybe it's a quarter box, or like, I don't, like a half. It's about a quarter box where you can just kind of write in your header or what you want, and then off you go. Sidebar is always a struggle for me. I don't know why. I could just totally leave it blank and just write in what I actually want to use it for, but we're continuing on.
Let me tell you, not because my eyes are open, your words I've been waiting for this, yeah. It's been up on my mind. Oh, it's hard to resist. Feeling like one of a kind. Oh, now the hard times are
So after the weekend banner, I'm still kind of finding myself to be, I just find that the spread looks a little bare at this point, and so I kind of wanted to add a few decorative pieces, which you will see a little bit later on. For now, I'm just at least trying to figure out where my appointments are, where can I enter in my reminders and things like that. I also started using that super thin washi, that gold washi that I showed you a little bit earlier. So I'm actually blocking off time slots here. Clearly, I need an X-Acto knife for some of these washis to cut them, but we'll worry about that another day. For now, I wanted to get some of these clear, I forget what I'm looking for. I think I'm looking for something that says today or today's goals or something like that. I didn't find it clearly, so it's okay. I guess that's one of my biggest struggles with some of these kits, that not a lot of them will actually have the useful stickers that you end up looking for. And it can totally feel like you're spinning your wheels. Oh yeah, I think that I was just looking for something on the sidebar. But I was also looking for a sticker that would say work, which I later on found off camera, but it wasn't a clear sticker. It was literally just a little box. It's okay, we'll struggle through it. See, like, I found those guys, but I don't like the way that they look, and they're like a totally different style than everything else. So that's sort of where I run into struggles with setting up the full week, where there's just a disconnect on how things look. So I ended up just going with a quarter box, and I just literally wrote in what it is for. Now I'm keeping track of, so I started kind of writing down some of my reminders, my daily reminders, when I'm actually going to be working, and then what's something that is going to also go into my wellness plan. I'm going to be doing like a 45-minute restorative on Tuesday. I'm working hard on being able to just finish up. I make this sound like a struggle once again, but really it's not. I'm working on completing my actual practice hours, and one of my biggest goals for February was simply to be able to finish it by the end of February, and I'm so gosh darn close that I'm literally willing to practice like twice a day on certain days. So on Fridays I end up teaching from 6 till 7, but I will also put in another practice hour in the morning, just because in that way one of them counts as a teaching hour, the other one counts as a practice hour. You get the point. So I kind of wanted to keep track of a lot of that, and while part of me is very happy that I'm keeping track of all of this, but then another part of me is like, but don't forget what's coming up next week. So I mean, I'm very highly aware of just some of the preparation that needs to be done before I can go away on vacation. So there you go. I mean, I'm trying to find the outlets where I can actually keep track of all of that. Also, I wanted to keep track of one of the dentist appointments. Needed to double check the time. For the life of me, I could not remember. So thank God that I have it written down in like multiple places. So that will be Friday morning. We're doing many things on Friday. Okay, we can finally move on to the sidebar of what the actual goals are. And honestly, I kept it fairly simple, just how many videos I wanted to release on this channel and also on the clinic channel as well. And really just what does catching up on social really look like for me. So I still can't remember for the life of me why I wrote down 2 trackers. I think that I will literally just use that for like a daily gratitude. I mean, I do have one specific, I think it's like a gratitude planner that's coming from Erin Condren. Hopefully it's coming relatively soon. For now, we're not going to worry about it. on to adding some decorative pieces here. So for the most part, I'm done. I mean, I'm still, well, let's just cut that extra little strip off. Okay, when I'm looking at this spread, to me, this still feels a little empty. Part of me kind of struggles where I can add all of these different, I feel like we need to bring some balance into this spread, to be honest, because all I'm seeing is just a lot of check mark type boxes on the side. But then I decided to just literally add a couple of decorative pieces. I'm also kind of struggling to just find balance with the yoga practices. Like on some days, if I'm actually counting how many hours I have to do, then I figure, some days, like Friday happens to be one of the days where I have to actually practice twice in that day. I'm trying to remember what else I needed to keep track of. Obviously, stuff to do with the girls, just plugging in times for workouts, and I'm going to have to just literally keep track of everything else in my daily folio, because otherwise it just becomes really overwhelming to just try to cram all the information here. But for now, I figure at least if I keep track of like when the practice hours are, when I have to go and pick up the girls, what type of class I want to take, then at least we can have some planner piece. One thing I will have to say that I mentioned before, and maybe I've said this to you, maybe I haven't, but I like these little kits that you can get from Michael's, but I find them to be severely incomplete. And maybe that's done on purpose, but they either have a lot of boxes, which becomes very functional, or they have a ton of decorative stickers. But I find that I end up gravitating towards, I find that I need a combination of maybe 2 or 3 different kits so that I have like one complete themed kit. Like, as you can tell, even right now, I'm looking at 2 or 3 different kits just so that I can have like one little quote, one little funny little saying, just so I can bring some balance to the overall spread. And I don't necessarily need every single little box covered, but it's kind of nice when you can bring some balance to how the overall spread looks. You know what I mean? Like, part of me always kind of worries that I overloaded with so many stickers that I can't actually notice when the appointments are. We'll talk about those washies in the next video. I'm showing them to you for a reason, I promise. Yeah, no, I think I'm done looking at kits. I think this is it for today, now that we've been here for about an hour. Okay, hope you guys have enjoyed it. I will show you a quick close-up of this. One thing that is kind of a challenge is as you run your hand over the top of the page, then it just feels like some of the stickers really want to come up, but maybe we just kind of press them down a little bit more. But I will show you guys a quick close-up right now so you can see, you can let me know what you think, and tag me in your creations if you haven't already. I would love to see what you have created on your spreads. And if you are brand new and you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so that you don't miss another video. And in the meanwhile, keep planning, you guys, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.